What's up, everybody? It's your boy Adam, back at you for another fun, fact-filled video of the Chaos to Come Back saga. For those of you who may be new, this is the story. This is just a documentary of a guy who had everything that you would want to have in life, lost it all because of a dumbass mistake, and is trying to come back from hitting rock bottom, going to federal prison for almost 2 years over some social media posts, followed by being homeless for 5 months. And so if you want to know the story, watch the videos. That's what it is. Or you can come to the live stream on Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 7 to 9. I always have to look. It's 7 to 9 Eastern Standard Time, even though the math is pretty easy. Add an hour. If you're on the West Coast, it is what it is. You're used to having to do that math. And there won't be any commercials during the live stream. Just fun time, party. But if you're late to the party and you got to watch the replay, you're going to watch the ads. The ads will be turned on when the replay's done processing. So you want to know how to contact me, it's adam@litgood.com, and you can support the channel, check out photography, look at other things, social media down there in the description below the video. And so speaking of being late to the party and having to watch the replay, the Tour de France is that's like the only sport, the only, so I don't like sports ball, I don't give a crap. I really don't remember watching the Super Bowl. I don't think I did. I think maybe I think it was on in the background at my friend's house, and I think I looked over the banister a couple of times to see, oh, look at that. So-and-so scored a touchdown or a point through the field goal. I don't care enough about football. Yeah, I'll root for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's my jam. That's my town. My mom was a big Steelers fan. I'll even root for Buffalo because I grew up there, and watching them lose 4 Super Bowls in a row was pretty. At first, the first one they lost, we were like, oh man. By the time they lost 4 in a row, we were laughing about it. It was a big joke. And cycling, I watch. I like to watch cycling. So it's kind of like the Super Bowl is going on, but the Super Bowl lasts for an entire month. And the nice thing about the cycling Super Bowl is that even if you're in last place in the Tour de France, you are a top-notch, world-class, highly accomplished bicyclist in your own right, because just to get on a bike in the Tour de France, you have to be one of the best 180-something bicycle riders in the entire world just to be able to do that. So you could come in last place at the Tour de France, but you're still some national champion of whatever country you came from, or maybe you got the gold medal at the Olympics for some track cycling event or whatever. You've got a trophy case full of shit, even if you do bad at the Tour de France. Maybe you get invited to the Tour de France just to carry water bottles for somebody. That's a thing. Domestique is what it's called. And grab the food bags and pass it out to the team. Like, that's a job. That's a job that people get. If but you're still world class. And I'll talk about that in a bit. But it's like, how they used to have like the Pro Bowl for footballers, where they'd all go to Hawaii and play a football game, and it would be all the best players in the NFL, the 2 best quarterbacks, the 2 best running backs, all the best wide receivers, et cetera, et cetera. But they're going to they're on vacation. They're going to Hawaii for a weekend to play a game where they're not really going to try that hard and nobody's trying to get hurt. So it's not even really a real football game, and now they turned it into some dumbass flag football game where with some ball throwing contests, and it's like, wow, people are still watching this garbage. Like, but when you watch the Tour de France, that is like the Pro Bowl, the Super Bowl, the World Championship, the Olympics, all wrapped into one. It's the 180 something absolute best bicycle riders in the world all going at it. And so that's why it's fun to watch. And there's so much stuff going on. It's a month-long bicycle festival. And there's so much cash and prizes and so many little contests going on, and there's just so much shit going on that if you really like it, a lot of people will watch I've gotten people into that, especially when Lance Armstrong was the guy, you know what I mean? So now America wants to watch bike racing all of a sudden, even though they used to hate it. And a lot of people are like, well, why do you want to sit in front of a TV and watch guys ride bikes for 5 hours? It's boring. I don't know how boring is it when you see people go flying down a mountain at 70 miles an hour on a bicycle, and they could go off the road and crash and fall off a 1,000-foot cliff, and that's it. And the rest of the race just goes, that we don't care. Send the ambulance after the race is over. Get a couple spatulas, whatever you got to do. You got football. Oh, football's not boring. These fucking lazy assholes, they run for like 10 seconds. Then they huddled and talk about it. Hang out for a minute. They all line up again. Get all set and ready. Hup, hup, hup. Run for another 5 to 10 seconds. Then they take another minute-long break. Chill. Go get a drink of water, whatever. Oh, and then now the defense has to come out, so the offense goes off the field. They get to chill for another half hour. The defense comes on, they play. Oh, we got to kick the ball. So we have a third team that comes out on the field. They're the ones that kick the ball or catch the ball and run with it. And so, like, the player, like, how long does an average football player actually play in a game? And I'm talking like not the huddles and the just standing around and waiting for the fucking ball to get, but actually run and play. Like 5 minutes in a fucking game? I don't know. If you add it all up, does it even add up to 10 minutes of actual running and exercise? I don't know. And then they're padded from head to toe. Helmets, pads on the shoulders, pads on the chest, a thing to protect your balls. You got knee pads and thigh pads and back pads and special helmets so you don't get a brain concussion and blah, blah, blah. Oh, they're tough. But these guys riding their bicycles down the side of the mountain at 75 miles an hour who complained back in 2003 when the Tour de France said, hey guys, you got to wear a helmet. Oh man, I don't want to wear a helmet. So now they got to wear a helmet. At least wear a helmet, guys. Come on. You're going 75 miles an hour down a mountain on a tiny little bike. Could you at least put on a helmet so we don't got to pick up the brains off the pavement when you crash? And, oh yeah, they're pussies. And the football players, they're mean and tough. Yeah, okay, keep talking. So yeah, don't tell me cycling's a sport for pansies. The Tour de France is the toughest sporting event in the history of sports, except for maybe the gladiator arena in ancient Rome where you had to fight against lions and fight to the death. And even that, if you were good at it and you could win, I mean, I don't know, how long does a gladiator battle last? 20 minutes? For a long one? These guys got to ride 2,700 miles over 23 days with 2 days off. And even on their days off, they got to keep riding their bike, because if they don't ride their bike on the day off, the next day when they go to get on their bike, they're going to be all rigor mortis and they won't even be able to stand up on their feet, let alone ride a bike again. So they don't get to take off. They don't get to like rest until the Tour de France is over. Or they break bones and crash and are laying in a hospital bed after getting their bones put back together. So I don't know. Keep telling me how bad that race is. Plus the Super Bowl, it's like the minimum it costs to go to the Super Bowl is $2,000 to get a ticket just to get in the door in the nosebleed seat. And not to mention your transportation costs and everything else. And you got to get tickets for the Super Bowl before you even know who's going to be in it. Probably 2 years in advance. I don't even know. The whole thing's a joke. Why would you want to go see that? See some has-been rock star do a lip sync performance at halftime, unless you got to go to the bathroom, because that's your only chance to go get a bathroom break. Between when the game is, I'll watch it. I'll watch Taylor Swift on the replay tomorrow, right? The Tour de France is free. Find a place on the side of the road, find yourself a good costume or whatever you feel like you gotta do, and stand there and wait for your favorite riders to go by. As a photographer, oh my God, I would love to go spend a month in France carrying cameras around and shooting photography of the Tour de France for all the world cycling magazines and whatnot. Getty Images and however else I could sell my photos. Plus, on top of that, the Alps, the Pyrenees, the Central Mountains, Paris, all that shit. I'm gonna have lots of photography of just France in general, not just the bike racing, but I'm basically, if I went to France to cover the Tour de France, I would be from about 4 in the morning till about 11, 12 o'clock at night for a month. I would be holding a camera in my hand and shooting. But I would probably have to have a bicycle with me, because some of the stages on the tour, if you want to get a spot on the mountain to watch the racers go by, you're not going to be able to drive up there and find a place to park. You got to ride your bike up that shit. Watch the side of the roads littered with bicycles on those mountain stages, because that's how people get up there, or they walk. But if you've got a 8-mile walk to get up the mountain to where you want to watch them ride by, I'll take a bike. It's a long climb, but if you leave at 4 in the morning and go up that mountain, you'll get a spot. You'll find a good spot to watch the race from, and you don't have to go as fast as they do to get up there. So, I don't know. Speaking of biking, Tour de France, I'm on stage 13 right now. A mountain climb time trial in the Pyrenees. But the race, they're on, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Today is like stage 18. So I can't even keep up with them on TV, let alone on a bike. So if I was riding a bicycle, I would be at stage 13 and they're on stage 18 right now. Like, I would be in the same place trying to keep up with. In fact, they're on stage 18. I'd be on stage 9 trying to finish stage 9 while they're on stage 18. That's pretty accurate, because if I was on one of those bicycles, that would be my average speed, would be about half of theirs. So, bike shoes, my feet are getting punished lately. And my bike shoes are starting to fall apart. Not severely, but enough that I gotta start thinking about that. Because 1 is none, 2 is 1. If something happened to my bike shoes to where they broke, I'd be in some deep trouble because I wouldn't be able to get to my bakery job and back without them. So on Facebook Marketplace, I just look there from time to time to see what's available. I found a pair of decent bike shoes, my size, $15 with cleats, hardly used. I mean, I could tell they've only been worn a couple times, maybe. The cleats still look pretty brand new. I mean, they look like they've been used for less than 50 miles. They look like my bike shoes would look about a week, 2 weeks after buying a brand new pair. But in order to go pick these up, that's the problem. The price, $15 for an extra pair of bike shoes, is a no-brainer. But it's 20 miles away. The person selling them is 20 miles away, and it'll be a 40-mile bicycle ride to go get them, and they're not in a convenient direction for me to get them after working at the bakery or something like that. So, like, I mapped it out. If I went after Saturday, working at the bakery on Saturday, light traffic, maybe they send me home early that day, whatever. I'm in for like a 40 to 45 mile bike ride just to go get a pair of $15 shoes. And that's 45 miles on top of the 25 I rode to get to the bakery, plus the 8 hours working at the bakery. So it's like I keep talking about how I'm running out of energy, and time management and energy are a problem for me right now. And so having a backup pair of bike shoes for $15 is good, but I have to also consider what the loss of energy is going to do to me when it comes to freelancing and getting chores done around the house and all that kind of crap. I figure these bike shoes, these particular ones, would be about $100 to $150. I can't even find them, the exact shoes, so that I can, what would these exact shoes cost brand new? Plus, I don't 100% know that they'll fit me. I take a size, my current bike shoes are a 45, which in European size, that's size 11 American, because Europeans use centimeters. And so, or millimeters or what, centimeters sounds right, but the European shoe sizes aren't the same as American shoe sizes. And so I take a 45 in the shoes I'm wearing right now. The ones that are for sale are a 44, but they're also an 11. So the American size, they both say size 11, and for my regular shoes, if I get Keen hiking boots, I'll get 10.5 wide. If I can choose the size from their selection, I've settled on 10.5 wide. When I bought my boots in Walmart that everybody said those are 11. I could 10.5, 10. They felt too tight. 11. So you have to try on shoes. At least with Amazon, if you try on shoes, you don't like them, they have a program. They'll send you a new pair right away, give you a certain amount of time to take the ones you didn't like back. They'll do that with clothing. It's pretty straightforward with them. There's waiting and delivery times and all that kind of crap, but a 40-mile bike ride in the middle of the week when I'm supposed to be here doing work to get shoes that may or may not fit, I'm assuming they would fit, and for $15 as a backup pair, I'd be okay if they were a little tight, but if they fit decent or whatever, just to have an extra pair. So it's tempting. It's tempting to go do this, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. I like riding my bike. It would be exploring new territory, going somewhere I've never been or seen. There'd be some interest there, and the time would go by faster. perception of time would be faster because I'm not riding the same thing over and over and over again. But I'm just not highly motivated. The seller and I went back and forth, but I've kind of flaked out. People flake out on Facebook Marketplace. I'm not. Sellers flake out, buyers flake out. I flaked out on this one. I've had people flake out on me all the time. I tried to get a really nice vacuum cleaner for $25, and the seller was a complete flake to the point I thought maybe it was a scam. And then it was marked as sold the next day. So whatever. So Giro, the company that makes my shoes. So far I've got a thumbs up for another company with good customer service. And I'm going to tell you, I wasn't expecting this because I read that they are a pain in the ass to deal with. So I have these shoes. Giro on their website says they warranty their shoes 1 year for any manufacturer's defects. And the sides of my shoes are starting to wear out. Like they have this fine mesh on the sides of the shoes, and these holes are starting to show up from wear and tear. And I'm like, okay, I'm riding a lot, but at the same time, I've had other brand of shoes. I've had Shimano shoes, I've had Specialized shoes, I've had other brands of shoe last years, like 5 years without falling apart. These ones started, these little holes started to show up a couple months after I bought the shoes, and I'm like, yo. And they just keep getting worse, and more holes keep showing up, and this whole side of the shoe is starting to look like I'm not worried about them falling apart right now on a bike ride, but I'm worried that eventually they're just gonna rip open and have a big hole in the side of the shoe. And they're not even a year old. But the problem is the bike shop where I bought them, they don't give you itemized receipts. You get like a little cash register receipt that just says what you spent. So the first time I went to that bike shop, I bought a helmet, lock, tools, inner tubes, all kinds of random stuff, and my shoes. And so I got the receipt, and it just has the total and the date and the name of the bike shop and the address. That's it. And I'm like, I never thought to ask for an itemized receipt, and they probably would have told me, if you have a problem, just bring it back to us. And I was thinking about just taking these shoes to the bike shop, but it's a 10-mile ride to get there. From here, there were a couple times that I rode out that way and went past the bike shop, but because Route 45 they're on Route 45, I could go past the bike shop, right past the parking lot on my way to someplace, but on my way home, I'm on the other side of Route 45, and there's like a 12-lane highway between me and the bike shop, and I would have to go like 4 or 5 miles down this way, turn around, come back up 4 or 5 miles, then turn around and go home 10 miles. And so I never feel like doing that when I'm coming home from that direction. And so I'm like, and then what do? Return these shoes that I'm wearing on my feet right now? I don't have another pair, so I thought, oh, maybe I just get another pair, and then go up there and return these ones. But then I'm like, these things are closing in on being a year old. That's that a dick move to do that to a local bike shop that I like? So anyway, I'm just like, I kind of went back and forth with this for months. But I also need my bike shoes, so I can't just be like, send them back and wait for a new pair to come, whatever. I've just kind of like got locked into that thought, and they just keep getting worse and worse. And so it's July 20 whatever this week I was like, I'm gonna try this. So I went to their website, Giro's website. I had doubts, but I got they have a customer service email, and it says, email us photos of your defective shoes. on the website. It says do this. There's a form to fill out. I think, no, there was a form, a contact form, but then there was an email address that says, send us photos. So I took photos of both shoes where the holes were, and I attached a photo of the receipt, which I still have the receipt, and I explained in the email, I'm like, look, I bought these shoes at a bike shop. Here's the date I bought them. The bike shop doesn't give itemized receipts, so I don't know if that'll be a problem. I'm like, the holes started to appear, whatever. I only use these shoes on road bikes. I'm not using the shoes on mountain bikes. I'm not going mountain biking. I can take a picture of the soles. You can see they're in perfect shape. They're not all beat up like I've been riding off road for 8 months. I just feel like they're falling apart prematurely. And so, but I didn't expect, I'm like, yeah, we'll see what happens there. And I went on with my merry way. I'm telling you, less than 10 minutes later, I get an email back from their customer service department asking me for the size shoe that I wear and the mailing address and the exact specs of the shoes. And they emailed me back again 10, 15 minutes later saying, we just shipped you out a new pair. Whoa! Literally, I sent this email at 2 in the afternoon, and before 2:30 they tell me we've got a new pair on the way. Just, however many weeks, they say you gotta wait this long to get them. I don't even know if I'll get a tracking number or anything. So I don't have them in my hand yet. So far though, thumbs up to this company. The only thing that could go wrong at this point is they send me the wrong shoes or the wrong size. I don't care about the color at all. The one thing they have, my shoes have this twist knob lacing system with it looks like fishing line going back and forth. And I really like it. I never thought those lacing systems would be any good, but they're strong. I've had those on multiple bike shoes and they work great. Way better than the old style ratchet buckles that the mountain bike shoes used to come with. I don't even want those anymore. I like these twist knob systems. Because you don't want shoelaces on bicycles, because shoelace gets caught where you're pedaling the crank arm meet, snap, and there goes your shoelace, and they got a shoelace tangled on your crank arms. And then you got to ride home with broken laces and possibly a messed up shoe. So the riders in the Tour de France typically wear lace-up shoes, but they have a special cover over them to keep the laces from interfering with the bike. Now they have another version of the shoe that I wear that has 3 Velcro straps instead of the twist knob thing, and they're cheaper. So I had to make sure to tell them exactly which shoe I had, because they're the same model name of the shoe, but one has the twist knob and one has the Velcro straps, and I don't like the Velcro straps. So I'm getting a free pair of shoes, and they're not telling me I have to send the old ones back. So I'll spend $25 on a set of cleats, mount them, go on 1 or 2 rides to make sure that my shoes are dialed in and set up properly. And now I've got a brand new pair of cycling shoes side by side with my current pair, and I've got problem solved, and it didn't cost me $1. Now, if the next pair of shoes wears out and breaks prematurely, I don't know what they'll do about that. You may be SOL at that point and have to go buy another pair, at which point maybe I'll switch brands. I don't know. But I thought that was cool. That was like when Garmin, when I got this thing back after not having it for a long time, the battery was hosed. It wouldn't hold a charge anymore. And it was way past the warranty of 1 year. It was like 3 years after I bought it. I reached out to Garmin and I explained, I'm like, my Garmin just stopped working. I didn't say, hey, I went to prison for 2 years. I couldn't wear my tracker. When I came back, the battery won't hold a charge. It was already a year old. They sent me back a message. They're like, we got you. We'll send you a new one. Send the old one back first. We'll send you a new one. I mistakenly sent the band with it when I sent it back. And when they sent me the new one, they just sent me the actual tracker without the band. And I'm like, crap. I had to go and get bands I got a 3-pack of bands on Amazon, but they're not as good as the band it comes with. But it's really not that good to begin with. Good enough. Not as good as the bands that the Fitbits and some of the other Garmin watches come with. In fact, this thing can fall out of the band pretty easily, and so I've got to constantly pay attention to that. Putting on a backpack, taking off my backpack, the thing can pop off. It fell off in the Chick-fil-A parking lot one day, and I get to work, and I look down, and I'm like, where's my tracker? Crap, it did cost, when I bought it years ago, it was $150, and they still cost that much. And I'm like, shit, I'm not going to be able to afford to replace that. Fuck. So I'm like, I left the bakery with my uniform on and everything. I'm like, I'll be back. I just left. I walked over to Chick-fil-A. Bam, it was sitting right there where I took my backpack off, just laying by the picnic table. And I'm like, oh, cool. And so I went back, told them what happened. They're like, well, everybody was cool. Everybody was like, oh, I'm glad you got it back. But, so I'm saving $175 getting a brand new pair of cycling shoes without having to pay for them. And so Giro, you're a good company. I give you a thumbs up for that. I should just do videos or some sort of review of companies with good customer service and companies with bad customer service and just compare them and tell you my experiences. I love to throw people under the bus, but I like to give people the thumbs up when they're good to deal with. So I thought I read things that company is hard to deal with when I was Googling, what do I do about these shoes? And I've heard people complain that this company is difficult. I don't know what's going to happen next, but so far my experience with it has been pretty good. And now these other shoes, the $15 ones, are still sitting there for the taking, but I'm even less motivated to go pick up a pair of $15 shoes because 1 is none, 2 is 1, 3 is done. If you've got 3 pair, I would be set for years, 2-3 years, without having to worry about cycling shoes at all. Get a pair of $25 cleats for the brand new pair. Go pick up the $15 ones that have cleats on them. The cleats are worth the $15 even if the shoes don't quite fit right. But I would try them on before. But I don't want to get there, try them on, be like, oh, they don't fit. I have to turn around and leave. $15 for just the cleats is worth it because they're $25 for the cleats. So, but I don't know. Then Facebook Marketplace, another thing I have that got damaged. Things were being stored for me. Some things got damaged. I don't want to talk about it any more than that because it's a thorn in my side right now. I have a Surface tablet, a Windows Surface tablet, and the tablet didn't get damaged, but the keyboard has a messed up key. So when you plug the keyboard into and that's a special keyboard. It's a cover flap that has a keyboard built into it. When you plug the keyboard into, when you snap the keyboard to the tablet, the letter, it's like someone's holding down the letter A, and it just goes A across the screen, and it's like you can't get it to stop registering the key press. So moisture got in there, whatever, it's hosed. A new keyboard for one of these things. Now, when I bought that Surface tablet, it was expensive. It was the top of the line one you could get. But that was a few years back. But still, the replacement keyboard for that thing is $150 on Amazon all day long. A refurbished one, I think. They're freaking expensive. And so I keep seeing them on Facebook Marketplace, but the sellers are always flaky. There's one person that has one, and she's like a mile away from the bakery. And I'm not kidding, we've been going back and forth since September of 2024. She keeps relisting the ad. I keep saying, hey, I'll come and get it. Saturday, Monday, I'll get it. Meet me in the Target parking lot. She says that the Target parking lot's a mile or two away. She keeps flaking out. And then she disappears. And then like a few months later, I see the ad again. Hey, I'll get that. She has it for like $30. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll get that. Brand new. It's in the box still, sealed. And I'm like, yes, I will take that. I'm not in a huge hurry. I don't use my Surface tablet a lot. But I'd like to be able to use it to test websites that I'm building in Microsoft Windows browsers. That's my primary use for that thing. So I'm not in a huge hurry, but I'd like to have it working again. One is none, two is one. Having another computer, good to have. There's lots of things there. But so somebody on Facebook Marketplace yesterday, when I just click on it sometimes, and I just see what's around me. What random stuff is that? That's how I found those bicycle shoes for $15. I wasn't looking for them. I was just like, holy crap, $15 for bike shoes. Nice ones. Not top of the line, but $15. Yeah, nice, good brand. They're in brand. The pictures showed they were pretty much brand new. Looked like they may have gone on a couple bike rides. That's it. The treads, the signs were there that they'd hardly ever been worn. And so I'm okay with that. Well, I saw somebody listed 2 Microsoft Surface keyboards and a stylus pen. Those things were $100. So that's like $400 worth of stuff. 2 keyboards and a pen. The 2 keyboards are still in the box. $30 for the whole shebang. Because he says he was using it for a Surface Pro 5. I have a Surface Pro 6. I don't even know what they're up to now. It's that's a few years old. But it's the same keyboard, the same size and everything. The pen is the same pen. I have one. I have 2 Surface tablet pens. One I accumulated, one I bought. And so it would just be another spare pen stylus for it. And so I'm like, wow, 2 keyboards and a pen, $30 for the whole shebang. And I'm like, it's kind of out of the way on my way home from the bakery, but I've lined up going there on Saturday to get it. So I've got to figure out my backpack situation. I might have to leave clothes at the bakery and bring them home Monday so I have room in my backpack for these things. But it's doable. It's a 14-mile bicycle ride to where I'm picking them up, and probably another 15 miles, give or take, to go home. I haven't done the exact I know it's 14 miles to get there. Home, I'm assuming 15, no more than 20, so total of 35 miles at the most. I'll be home before dark. It's a good deal. 30, that solves some problems, so I'm not worried about the bike shoes at this point. I'll just, if it happens, it happens. But getting my keyboard situation figured out for the Surface tablet and only costing me $30. What if they both work just fine and I turn around and sell the other keyboard for $50? Maybe I can get paid $20 to go pick this thing up and bring it back home and make sure, or one is none, two is one. I've been known, ask my best friend here in Houston, we were doing a podcast and he watched me spill wine on my he's watched me I have never one time had an open container of liquid near my computer since, well, except for I spilled wine all over my laptop. This was years ago. He's dying. He's laughing his ass off. The keyboard was hosed. Fortunately, the water or the liquid did not go past the keyboard and get into the laptop. There was an actual kind of like a seal there to help protect that from happening. It was a Toshiba laptop. So I had to go on, no, it was an HP. It was an HP laptop. Almost brand spanking new too. So I had to go online and find a keyboard, and I found one. The same keyboard. I went and replaced the keyboard. It was pretty straightforward. Little tiny screwdrivers and electronic nonsense and having to connect the connector and all and put it all back together. One hour after I put the new keyboard on, boom, knocked over a glass of water, went all over the fucking keyboard, ruined it. Ruined the keyboard an hour after I bought it. Then I had to go get another one. Put it, and then I'm like, okay, we're done. Did the same thing with a freaking Mac. I spilled water on a keyboard for my Mac. I had a Mac Tower. And Mac's keyboards back then, the trendy look and feel of the keyboard was clear plastic. Bought a brand new keyboard from the Apple store in Shadyside. Now, these were only $35, so it wasn't a huge thing. The laptop keyboard, when I did this to the laptop, was worse. But it was still much less than buying a laptop. But, so I spilled water on the MacBook keyboard. Went to the Shadyside store a couple hours later, got a new keyboard, came home, plugged it in. Not even an hour went by. Boom, another glass of water on the freaking keyboard. Except I was like, oh, maybe I can just take it back. But then you pick up the keyboard, and because it's clear, it looked like one of those wave things at the Spencer's gift store. You just see the water going back and forth inside the keyboard, and I'm shaking it and trying to pour the water out. It won't come out. But the whole thing's just got water sloshing around inside of it. And I'm like, well, if I take this back and tell them it didn't work, the fucking genius behind the bar at the Genius bar, I mean, granted, they hire a genius with an IQ of 70 to work at the Apple store, but even an Apple store genius is gonna look at this fucking thing and go, I don't think so. And they're not gonna take that shit back. So I had to go back to the fucking Apple store less than 2 hours after I bought a keyboard, and they're looking at me like, you need another one? I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to fucking talk about it. Just give me another keyboard, and I'm out. I don't even want to fucking talk about it. And ever since then, bang. Spill-proof container. I will never sit next to a computer. And this was years ago. I mean, this was like in the early 2000s. Both of these incidents. I mean, prior to... I know where I was living when this happened. It had to be like, I'm going to say 2005. 2005, 20 years since that incident. I will never, ever, 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 ever sit next to a computer with an open container of liquid, ever. Nowhere near it. I will, there's like a 10-foot diameter radius that I will not approach any electronic keyboard or anything like that holding an open container of liquid ever again. Because I know what happens. And it's that fast. It's that fast. Yeah, I was that dumb. Twice. Both times it happened, I'm telling you, this happened twice, like a year apart, but I spilled liquid, replaced the keyboard, less than an hour later, boom, another keyboard bites the dust. Never had that problem again. So, anyhow, I'm possibly getting 2 keyboards for my Surface tablet and a stylus, a backup stylus, for, what did I just say, $30. That's worth the ride. That's worth an extra few miles. It might be a 30-mile bike ride, maybe 35 when it's all said and done, or 20 to 25. I don't know. My ride home on Saturdays, it's gonna be a crappy ride on roads that I hate riding on. Busy traffic, loud roads. I'll have to take the Red Rocket because I'll need to have my GPS going at least for a little while. And I'm not going to enjoy that ride one bit, but it's worth it. I'm going to get things crossed off my checklist that I have to do that I wasn't planning on doing, but wow, that's a problem solved right there, and it'll accomplish multiple things for pennies on the dollar. So I'm going to get it done. Trying to be more serious about my fitness. I'm tracking my food intake with MyFitnessPal, and now it makes me, I have to take this thing off when I'm at the bakery. So now I'm like, I would like to still be able to track my fitness when I'm at the bakery, because on Mondays I'm lifting heavy bags, I'm doing all kinds of stuff, and I'd like to know how many calories did I burn, because I burned 2,000 calories on the bike ride to and fro. How many more do I burn 8 hours of heavy lifting and crazy amounts of work? Probably a lot. So, I want to track my fitness, but let's get real. I'm really trying to track fitness food into my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to eat, unfortunately, and so even if I do burn 3,000 calories on top of you get 2,000 calories, or at least I do, for my weight, height, and all that. I get 2,000 calories for free. I can sit in a chair all day watching TV doing absolutely nothing, and as long as I stay under 2,000 calories, I'll lose weight. 2,000 are free. Everything else costs. So 5,000 calories, I don't eat that much in a day, even when I'm a pig. But that's only 2 days a week for me now. And so I'm not even walking to the grocery store anymore. So now I'm trying to calculate how much food I can get away with shoving into my mouth, tracking my fitness, so I'm fitness food in my mouth, right? I just want to see how much can I actually eat before it's considered a bunk for the day. And it just seems like consistently, when I'm home and I'm doing nothing, I consistently eat about 1,000 more calories than I'm supposed to. So if I'm supposed to stick with 2,000, I end up eating 3,000. Just my coffee, the creamer that I put in. You're getting like 300 calories out of the freaking coffee creamer right off the rip. Like, and I haven't even eaten any food and I've already banged out 300 of my 2,000. Even if I eat a salad kit for lunch, that's like almost, those are like 400 calories right there. So there's 700 of my, and I've still got 1,200 to go. That it means I can, so one meal in and I'm at like 700, 800 maybe. I got 1,200 left. Crap. Like I can eat another, one Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. This is my research right now. One Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, my bad, cheese, counts toward it. And a large order of hash browns is about 1,000. That's 1,000. And that's not a lot. That's not, I'm not even I'm drinking water with that. So the water's free. That's 1,000 calories right there. Just that. I don't know what the chicken burrito is because I haven't eaten one since, I know that's got to be more. It's got to be more than the sausage biscuit for sure. Those things are bigger. Now granted, I'm burning 2,000 calories when I ride my bike to the bakery and back, but 1,000 of it is the Chick-fil-A breakfast, and then another 1,000 is a freaking cheesecake or a giant cookie or whatever I eat, a tres leches cake or whatever for my snack when I take a break. So bang, I'm breaking even. I'm riding my bicycle 50 miles to have 2 little meals, 2 little snacks, and I'm breaking even for that. Peanuts, like you think, oh, peanuts, have some, I like macadamias. You'd think, oh, let me take a look here. Hold on, it's right here. This little thing of dry roasted and salted macadamias is this little container here. It's like 10 ounces, 10 ounces. If you're ravaged after a 50-mile bike ride, I could sit down in front of the TV with one of these and just, watching the Tour de France, all of a sudden it's gone. It's gone. Serving size is 10 times how many servings in a container? Calories 200. This motherfucker is 2,000 calories. 2,000 calories for this little bowl of peanuts. 2,000 fucking calories right here. That's my whole day of free calories. That's my whole freaking day of calories in this little bowl here. This thing, 2,000 calories. 2,000 calories. Now, are nuts bad for you? I mean, there's good and bad there. But, like, each freaking nut is probably 100 calories or something. I mean, crazy. What the hell? It's so easy to eat too many calories. Like, I don't even know. Like, I need something that I feel full after I'm done eating. But that if I eat this, like, if I've kind of like said, whoa, when I saw that. Because I could ride my bike to the bake. This is my bike ride to the bakery and back. This breaks even. That breaks even. So there was a couple times I rode my bike to the bakery and back. That's 50 miles. I ate Chick-fil-A for breakfast. I ate a giant cookie, and then I came home and I'm tired and I'm lazy. I don't want to cook. I don't even want to throw a frozen pizza in a whole frozen pizza. The whole fucking thing, 1,300 calories. This is 2,000. I could eat a whole frozen pizza, the whole freaking thing, and be better off than this bucket of nuts. What the fuck, man? That's crazy. That's crazy. This is why this is why I decided to track the food and kind of see what I'm actually doing. Because if I come home and my choice is this or a whole frozen pizza and I'm hungry enough to actually eat this whole thing, because, okay, you ride your bike 25 miles to work, you eat breakfast, you have a cookie at like noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then you work all the way until 4:30, 5 o'clock. Then you ride your bicycle 25 miles to come home, and you're looking at this, and you're like, oh, that's not so bad, I'll eat that. Open it up, sit in front of the TV, you can down one of these. You can down one of those watching the Tour de France for a few hours, and you think to yourself, oh, it's just peanuts, it's not like I'm eating anything bad for me. And then you mistakenly look at this thing on the, oh my God, that's 2,000 calories. And then I see I've got these frozen pizzas in the freezer that are this fucking big around. That's like half of this bucket of nuts. I'm like, I'd have been better off scarfing down a whole fucking pizza than I am eating this handful of nuts. Like, I can hold this in my hands. I could hold all the nuts in this thing in my hands. And that's 2,000 calories. Holy fuck. Like, I'm going to assume that the 2,000 calories of peanuts is better for me than the giant pizza in the freezer. But weight loss is calories. That's it. I don't give a fuck about what dumbass retarded new diet that you're on. I'm not doing the Atkins anymore. Now I'm on keto. And now I'm on the moon pie diet. Now I'm on the Little Debbie diet. You can eat Little Debbie cakes all day and lose weight. Whatever the fuck. I'm on Ozempic, right? It doesn't fucking matter what you do. You eat less calories than you burn, you lose weight. That's how it works. It's that simple. That's the fuck. All this shit that now nutrition's different. Part of the reason why I feel like I'm feeling tired all the time is because I'm not eating good food. So I'm kind of like, but I'm not the kind of person that can just pull the plug and all of a sudden rearrange my life and I'm doing everything different right now. I'm a new me as of tomorrow. I'm eating nothing but healthy. No, I can make small changes over time that add up over time, but I can't just jump head first into a new thing and this is what I'm doing from now on. So most of us aren't like that. So just knowing how bad I'm eating is fine for me right now. It will help me in the long run over a few months figure out, oh, that's a good snack and that was filling and I felt satisfied after eating it and it was only 500 calories. You know, like I'll figure things out, like salads. The salads do the job. So now I know if I come home, and obviously, a salad's better for you. Sometimes they're not, though. Go to a restaurant and order a salad because you think you're doing your body good, and the fucking steak and french fries will end up being less calories than the salad that they brought out. This big giant bowl full of shit. So, but generally speaking, I know I could come home from the bike ride, dump a pre-mixed, salad kit into a bowl and eat. But after I just did all that shit all day, I'm not going to feel like I'm going to be like, damn, I'm still hungry. I need some, maybe I'll go get some peanuts or something. You know what I mean? And now I'm eating 2,000 calories or 1,000 calories of peanuts on top of my salad and I just blew the freaking lid off again. So it's just a matter of figuring some things out. Maybe like, okay, I like vegetables, but I gotta put some butter on them. You know what I'm saying? Can't eat I like steamed vegetables. So mix in some vegetables with what I'm eating to kind of give my belly something to chew on. And even with the butter, I'm assuming like some vegetables covered in butter aren't going to be 2,000 calories. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep figuring it out as I go. Working on my fitness so I can be fitting this food in my mouth. That's all. because I'm not, I can't eat leaves and fucking tofu every day. It's not gonna work. I'd rather die than eat crappy ass vegan food. I had to go, I had to go to Whole Foods to return an Amazon order. And I was kind of thirsty, and this is kind of like Gatorade time. It's halfway home. And I went over to the organic juice section, and I'm looking at all these different juices, and it's all just like I'm just looking at the color of the juice and reading what's in it, and just like, oh, maybe this one will be okay. And it's like, oh, it's organic beet juice with carrots and kale and a few other things. And I'm like, okay, maybe, all right. It looked like it would be good, it almost looked like a berry smoothie, dark berry smoothie. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get this. And so I went to the self-checkout, bloop. It's like $7 for this bottle of juice. And I'm sitting there out in the parking lot drinking it. And I'm like, yeah, I guess it basically tasted like if you could it tasted like something a cow would drink. If you could take a handful of grass and squeeze it and get all the juice out of the grass and put it in a bottle and maybe break a couple of cherries open and sprinkle that in to give it some color. That's pretty much what this thing tasted like. And I'm like, it wasn't horrible. I think some of the other ones would have made me gag. But this one at least was like grass juice mixed in with it had carrot juice mixed in with it and something else, beet juice. So beet juice, they get sugar from beets, so that made it a little. But yeah, it was basically primarily it was like grass juice mixed in with like a little bit of beet juice to sweeten it up and a little hint of some dark berries to give it color. Here you go. Here's your organic grass juice from Whole Foods. And I haven't bought anything from Whole Foods since the day I came out of prison, because when I entered the transaction into my expense tracker, it said, oh, would you like to add Whole Foods as a new payee? And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess this may be the only time. But I'll next time I have to go to Whole Foods, whole paycheck foods, I might go to another juice aisle and I might look and see if there's something there that's worthwhile to stop for. And then talking about groceries, the online grocery shopping. I'm getting into this. I feel like it's like Amazon changed my life. I don't go to the store anymore. And now I don't even want to. Like, the only time I actually go to a store to get something now, and not even if I had a car, I wouldn't go to the store, because you never find what you want at the store. It's all a bunch of garbage, and you can't find what you're looking for when you go to the store, but you go on Amazon and you got 150 different. Your problem on Amazon is, how do I pick from 150 different cheese graters? You go to Target, they have 2, and they both suck. So but how do I, oh man. So online grocery shopping, I'm trying to okay, I've been going to Walmart, but I hate Walmart. I hate that company, and I don't want to do it, but I'm not going to lie, out of all the options, they're probably the best one for the online grocery shopping. They're right down the street too, so it comes fast. If I pick a window 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., they're there at 3:01. They're right at my door at the time window. As soon as that time window hits, they're knocking on my door. But for me right here, HEB, Kroger, Walmart, and Amazon will deliver from Whole Paycheck Foods. And so the one thing I cannot get delivered is good milk. The milk in the glass bottles, it's from Volman Farms or from 1836 Farms. It's two different ones here, the local farms that sell the glass bottled milk, the good high-end milk. Kroger and HEB both sell it. HEB refuses to let you add that milk to a delivery order. If you start a delivery order on the HEB website and you type in milk in the search box, you'll get 7 fucking pages of search results with 50 items per page. Milk, all milk. This is all the different milk they sell. And those glass bottles will show up. Both brands and all the different varieties, the chocolate milk, the strawberry milk, the buttermilk, the whole milk, 2%, fat-free, all of it. You can't add it to your shopping cart for an online order. Every other fucking milk they sell, you can. Kroger, I went to their website just to see. Kroger's website is a complete disaster, complete and total shit show. You can't even start a delivery order on their website. The website just bugs out and doesn't even let you start an order. It'll just come up with an error message. Oops, something went wrong. Oops, something went wrong. So you can't do a delivery order from Kroger. So that leaves Whole Paycheck Foods and Walmart. Walmart doesn't sell the good milk. They don't have it. They don't. Walmart, they're selling nothing but shit milk. So you can't get it there. Can't even get it in the store. The only milk that they're selling is in a plastic jug or a carton. That's it. Probably the same milk that I had to drink in federal prison. That's the best you can do at Walmart. So I went to Whole Paycheck Foods on Amazon to see if they have it. They don't even have it. Out of all the stores around here that should be selling the good milk, Whole Paycheck Foods don't have it. They have like grass milk. It's probably just grass turned into fucking milk, like the grass juice that I drank the other day. I don't know how you turn grass into milk, but they did somehow, and they call it grass milk. I'll pass on that. But you can't, so that crossed that off. So no, if I want the good milk, I gotta ride my bike to go get that. Can't get milk delivered anymore. Man, I'm in the wrong, I was born in the wrong time. Back in the day, the milkman bring that right to your house. What, twice a week? I don't know how often, but a freaking milk truck with a guy in a fancy uniform with a fancy milkman hat would show up and leave milk at your house a couple of days a week. And now you can't get the good milk anymore. Not delivered. HEB sells it. They won't bring it to you. They have 175 other bottles of milk that they'll bring to your house, but not that one. So I don't understand that shit. If that's out of stock, just let the person who placed the order know, hey, we're out of stock. That's what Walmart does. I ordered a rotisserie chicken one day. I got a text message an hour later saying we don't have any. Okay, thanks. Next time I order a rotisserie chicken, I said, here, if you don't have the lemon pepper, I'll take the regular. They had them both, so they brought the one I asked for. So why can't they bring the glass bottled milk? And if you say, well, it's because it's liquid in glass containers and they don't want it to break or whatever the fuck, they'll bring you a jar of mayonnaise in a glass container. They'll bring you bottles of pop in glass bottles. So I don't understand why they won't bring you the fucking milk that they sell. That makes absolutely no sense at all. Pisses me off. Fucking H-E-B. What kind of name for a grocery store is H-E-B? I'm like, I never understand. I'm like, I just moved here. I'm like, we got Wegmans in Rochester. That's the big one. Danny Wegman, the Wegmans family. Giant Eagle in Pittsburgh. That one's kind of dumb. It used to be called the Eagle Grocery. I used to work for Giant Eagle at one point, so I know the whole story. It was a bunch of families got together, made a grocery store. They called it the Eagle Grocery Store or something like that. It became a chain. Then they started making big grocery stores, and they called those Giant Eagle. So that's how the name came about. The Eagle Grocery Store, the Eagle Grocer, or something like that. America, Eagle, turned it into the Giant Eagle because they were bigger than the Eagle. Now they got like the super giant Eagles. They call those Market District for the suburban soccer moms who it's for all the people in the suburbs who drink the grass juice from Whole Paycheck Foods. They can go to Market District to get their grass juice, and it's probably cheaper than Whole Paycheck Foods, but it's marketed towards those people that drink the grass juice and the grass milk and all that crap. But they're huge. They're basically a copycat of Wegmans at that point, because Wegmans, I don't know though. The Wegmans in Jamestown's pretty bad, but it's nice. They're very nice inside, but the selection at the Giant Eagle or the Wegmans in Jamestown, New York, or in Lakewood is bad. The selection there is terrible. It's like going to Aldi's because all they sell is Wegmans brand everything. They don't have any other brands of anything that they sell. It's weird because Wegmans used to be the shit, and I'm just thinking that was just a shitty Wegmans. But anyway, H-E-B, where'd they get that name? Turns out H-E-B stands for Howard E. Butt. It's the name of the founder's son, Mr. Butt. And this guy played a key role in expanding the business. The grocery store chain was initially founded by Florence Butt, Howard's mother, as C.C. Butt Grocery. But when Howard took over, he eventually renamed the business H-E-B. So now that I know where the name came from, it all makes sense. It definitely sounds like the Butt family decided to hire a few 12-year-old boys to work in the marketing department and sit in the meetings when they're strategizing about the name of the business. And when people started asking, should we keep the store name Butt Grocery? And then watch all the little kids in the corner start laughing, pointing, and falling off their chairs, laughing at the name of your grocery store. That's what you have to do these days. I don't understand why companies don't do this, but you have to hire a few 12-year-old boys for your marketing department. You don't even have to pay them in money. You just pay them with Pokemon cards, cookies, Roblox cards for their Xbox and their computers. Give each one of them a Nintendo Switch so that they have something to do while they're waiting to be called into a marketing meeting. And then just run the names of your products past them and see if they laugh. And if they laugh their ass off and snicker and start whispering to each other and falling off their chair and slapping their leg, the Butt Grocery Store. You already know they're going to be on the floor. They're going to be laying on their back. Oh my God, that's the funniest thing. The Butt Grocery Store. You know it's a bad name for your grocery store. Fuck, man. Imagine how much Howard E. Butt got picked on in school. Could you imagine? It don't even matter if you're rich and you go to private school. If your last name is Butt, you're getting picked on every fucking day. Every time the teacher goes, Mr. Butt, the whole class laughs. he's probably got to stick up his butt from all these years of being picked on. That's for sure. He's probably a mean CEO after getting picked on his whole life. But the Butt Grocery, yeah, HEB is a much better name. I get it now. That is a much better name for your grocery store, and now I get it. It makes sense. Now, if anybody ever asks me about the name of HEB and why they called it that, Vic, it sounds dumb on the surface, but let me tell you the story behind it. What if they did keep the name? What if they did call it Butt Grocery? What if you needed hamburger buns and you were broke and you had to get the store brand? Would you have to go get some butt buns? Or what if you wanted some ice cream and you were too broke to get the Hershey Squirt bottle? Would you have to go get the butt chocolate instead? I'm just saying, man, I don't even know. So Howard E. Butt, you did a good job. You got picked on your whole fucking life, and when your family finally let you take the reins of the business, that's probably the first thing he fucking did. I mean, he probably changed the name of that grocery store 20 minutes after he got the CEO job. Good for you, Howard. You did the right thing. With that, I'm an hour 16 minutes into this video, and we're going to leave it at that. Peace out.